Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you're listening to our show. You are tuned in to Kiwanis Kares, based out of Go Live Vegas Studios in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you for making us part of your day. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. East Coast. And if you are in any other time zone, you have to figure it out because I have no idea. Anyway, I am Aaron Phillips, Las Vegas Entertainer Hall of Famer and past Lieutenant Governor of Kiwanis, and not only our current district and division here in Southern Nevada, but also in New Jersey. But more importantly, the show is anchored and co-hosted by the current Lieutenant Governor of Division 28 of the Calneva District, Ms. Christina von Lindenberg. How are you this morning?
I'm doing wonderful.
Excellent.
Beautiful weather.
Yeah.
And we're going to have an exciting guest today.
Yeah, we'll get to letting everybody know who that is in a second. I just want to remind everybody that if you want to be part of the show, and we love your questions, comments, thoughts, queries, innuendos, pseudonyms, homonyms, you want to sing a hymn, we don't really care. Just call in. Our number, if you're within the United States, 702-329-6947. Press the number 1. That'll get you right into the studio. Because Kiwanis is international, and we have friends in the Philippines that we interviewed a few weeks ago, and you're all over the world, you can call us from anywhere at 855-502-4321, and the number's there on your screen. Also press 1. Of course, we're monitoring our chat rooms. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, download the Go Live Vegas mobile app. Take us on the go. You can also send us a tweet using hashtag Kiwanis Kares LV. Kiwanis Kares LV. Your message will come across. We'll put it up there. Okay. How was your week since we last convened here in the studio, Ms. Christina?
It has been wonderful. Taking care of my granddaughter.
Oh, right. Oh, well, that's nothing's better than that, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's because maybe someday I'll find that out. My daughters are just out there busy enjoying life, so it's the last thing they're worried about. So, all right, listen, we got the head honcho of our district here, so let's not waste any time. Let me introduce our guest today. He is the Governor Gary Gray he is our district, Calneva. Gary is a third-generation native born and raised in Santa Barbara, California. Both parents and all 6 siblings are also natives of Santa Barbara. He attended, including Santa Barbara City College, University of Cal at Santa Barbara. In his youth, he spent time on the basketball court, and his father taught Gary and the other kids the art of marksmanship, a skill Gary practices in the present. We have a lot more in here, but I want to save time. Let me just say this, that he has held every Kiwanis position on the club level, all the way up to district trustee, as well as foundation, district committees. Listen, if there's a guy whose resume deserves to be our governor, please welcome to the show Mr. Gary Gray, our governor of the Calneva District.
Woo!
We should be standing, right? Is that the legal protocol? How are you,
That's
Governor?
okay.
How are you
I'm
today?
well, Aaron. I'm fine, Aaron. How are you doing?
We're doing very well.
Doing
Thank you
great.
for joining us today on your busy schedule. Christina.
Okay, Governor. We just want to know more about yourself. So can you tell us a little bit of the history before Kiwanis? Your
Sure,
childhood? We have
sure.
pictures of your family.
Yeah, it's a beautiful family, isn't it? They're very cute.
Yes.
Well, let me see. I like Aaron just said, I was born and raised in Santa Barbara, but when I was born here, it was a much, much smaller town. Today, the city limits perhaps contain over 100,000, maybe 110,000 people. When I was a kid growing up in downtown Santa Barbara until I was about 10 years old, Santa Barbara had a population of fewer than 40,000. Very small city. And it was a very different city culturally in that my mom would let us wander from our home about 3 blocks from the downtown area. Me and the boys would wander over to State Street and wander around for the afternoon on a Saturday, come back home, and she never worried about us at all. Today, I would not allow my child out of my sight downtown Santa Barbara.
Oh,
So it was a different place back then to grow up in.
I bet.
But I did attend all those schools, and I studied a little bit while I was there. I won't say what I studied, but I studied a lot of stuff. I did interrupt my college career at one point because I was enticed by some people who were going into business to join them in their business venture, which turned out to be a fashion manufacturing company. We were,
Wow. That is
yeah,
different.
we were manufacturing ladies' handbags and men's belts and wallets, and I worked in that company up until the mid '70s when I became weary of the manufacturing life. I enjoyed the sales aspect much more than the manufacturing side. And when you have a manufacturing facility with over 100 people coming to work at 7 o'clock every morning, it is just exhausting. So I sold my shares in that company and let somebody a little bit younger than me take over the job I've been doing, and I moved on and started a company manufacturing and marketing giftware and wooden and glass giftware. And that went on for a few years, and again became tired of the manufacturing process. No matter what I did, I tried to be the salesman, but I kept getting relegated back to the factory to run the factory. So I finally just gave up, sold everything, and continued my education for another year and a half. And in the course of that, I picked up the necessary units to sit for the CPA exam, which I did. I had a job working for a local accountant, and this was back in 1983, 84, that range. I had one very young child at that point. My youngest daughter she was born in 1980.
Uh huh.
My wife, Marcia, was the first lady, was running a small retail store that I bought a few years before that when I was still in business. And she was happily running that. And Erin was busy at the store following her mom around everywhere.
So where
I,
did you meet your wife?
I met her at UCSB. She had moved down
Oh,
from Lompoc, Santa Maria area, which is about 60 miles north of Santa Barbara, where she.
Aaron, we have pictures of that.
No, right now we're having some technical issues bringing up the pictures for at the
Okay.
moment. He can just beautifully describe his family at the
Okay.
meantime.
Yeah, so Marcia and I met, and we pretty much fell for each other pretty much on the spot. I mean, became a romantic item rather quickly, and we were married in the '70s and had Aaron in 1980. And then by this time, I was pretty well established in the accounting profession. I got my license
Hear us? No.
Okay, let me call him.
Okay.
You're just rebooting the computer, right? No?
Well, he's in the process of he's in the process of resetting everything.
Hello? We went dark.
I know.
So he is rebooting the computer again in the process of it, and then we will connect you in a minute. Okay, thanks.
Hi, we're back. Or at least I hope we're back. Now we're back. Okay, there you go. Hi, welcome back. Little glitch in the system. That's what you have with electronics. So we're going to try to get Governor Gary back on at the moment. So we were in the process of, he was sharing his family, how he met his wife at the campus of USC Santa Barbara, right? USC? Make sure I said it. University of, UCal, sorry. The Cal Bears. There he is, Mr. Governor. Are you back with us, sir? Mr. Governor, are you back with us, sir?
Gary?
Well, we see him visually. Mr. Governor, can you hear us, sir? Apparently not. We could see him and he can't hear us. So we're going to text with him. But in the meantime, so Governor Gary is well established in his community. He joined Kiwanis back in 2003. Why don't you put the cap on? And mute his. All right.
We can see you, but you don't hear us.
So we're trying to get the audio back up with our governor.
Can you hear us?
Turn her mic up.
You can hear us.
He can't hear us now. Okay. So Governor Gary, just give me a thumbs up if you can hear us on the line, if you don't mind. All right. All right. So we're back in business. All right. Sorry about that little glitch. We are, you know how technology is. So I was just mentioning that you joined Kiwanis in 2003, just to kind of give us a little time to get you back on the air. And I know you were chatting about your family and how you met your wife. So if you'd like to pick up from that point while we get our pictures ready to pull up during that conversation, please, if you wouldn't mind, please continue with what you were sharing with us about your family.
Sure. Family has always been, is very important to me because I come from a large family. So we always enjoyed family get-togethers, and I became very active in the local YMCA, which was good for me, good for the family, and good for my kids. They also became involved in the Y. It was at the YMCA that I actually was introduced to Kiwanis.
We're starting to show some of the pictures that we have up here. So they are in order. So I don't know if you have us on another device that you could see the pictures.
No, I'm just on my computer here.
Oh, okay. So if you're on your computer and watching the show at the same time, then you should be able to see the pictures coming up as you talk. But go ahead, keep sharing your story, and we'll just flow through the pictures at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, so the YMCA was very important to me and my family, and there were two gentlemen who came to help one year when I was chairing the annual campaign for youth, where we tried to raise a couple $100,000 for lower income kids to be able to participate in YMCA programs. And they were very helpful at helping me to raise money, going out and asking the community for money. And at one point we had a luncheon meeting at the Y, and they approached me after the meeting and asked me if I would like to join them for lunch the following day. And I said, sure, why not? Where are we going to meet? He says, well, we're going to be going to our Kiwanis Club meeting. Do you know anything about Kiwanis? And I said, nope, never heard of it before. Quite a bit different than...
Did you have the same, when he mentioned Kiwanis, did you have the same feeling that everybody has, that we're not a airline company?
No, I connection didn't really make for me, but I went to their meeting the following day, which was a Wednesday. They always met for Wednesdays for lunch now we're almost 100 years old, Kiwanis Club of Santa Barbara. And I went to that meeting and I've never stopped going. So that That's how I became involved in Kiwanis. I was there because I was and am an accountant. They glommed onto me immediately to be their club treasurer, which I've sort of like mentored the club since. And whenever we have an accountant join the club, don't ask them to be the treasurer. They're not joining Kiwanis to do their job for you. I didn't
That's
mind. I thought it was an opportunity to learn a lot more about the club and the organization, which it was.
right. And how
And
it
then,
runs.
yeah, you get a good inside look at how everything functions and where the money comes from, where it goes, what's important, what's not. And so I felt it was a really good grounding and education for me. I then was at some point asked to be president-elect, which I said yes to. I've been in the club about 5 years. I felt pretty comfortable with that response. So I was elected president-elect and then president and served a year, and the club just really overperformed for me. They worked so hard. The club they were like a super distinguished club that year.
Wonderful.
They just worked so hard for me. I couldn't believe it. I was very proud of them. And then I moved on a couple of years later. I campaigned to be lieutenant governor elect. I was asked by some of the division leaders if I would consider it, and I was somewhat flattered. I thought, sure, okay, why not? So I became lieutenant governor, and again, my clubs, I had 12 clubs. They again worked so hard for me. I just was just blown away by how hard they worked. And again, the division was a distinguished division that year, which surprised the heck out of me. But they really overperformed. And then I took a couple of years off and campaigned for the office of district trustee, which was a position which had just been created in 2008, by the way. I'm not sure if you both are aware of that, but 2008 was the first year there were trustees. Prior to that, the entire body of lieutenant governors sat as the board of trustees, which was a rather unwieldy
Right.
group, being like 43 or 44 people. It's a big board.
Yep. I remember
So,
those days.
yeah,
I remember
yeah.
those days. You
You
get
probably
into
you probably went to Bass Lake then, right? For training?
yes, that is correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was under Mark McDonald, and Bass Lake was our training, and Teddy Gibbs, may he rest in peace, and the whole bunch of them were all the trainers there, and
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. 43 people around a table to try to agree what to have for lunch, let alone, things within the district that we needed to agree upon is quite interesting. So.
Yeah, yes, especially when the 43 people who are sitting around that table have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
Very true.
You sort of
Chris,
you sort of figured it out by the end of the year, maybe.
yeah, exactly. Just when you get it, it's time to step down. So I
Yeah.
get it. I just want to remind everybody that first of all, we want to apologize for the electronic glitch a few minutes ago, but we're proud to say we're back on, and you are watching Kiwanis Kares with current Lieutenant Governor Christina von Lindenberg. I'm Aaron Phillips, and our special guest today is the District Governor of the California, Nevada, Hawaii District. Mr. Gary Gray joins us. So go ahead, Christina.
Well, we have a surprise for the governor.
Uh-oh.
Aaron,
Uh-oh.
go ahead.
The chipmunks?
I recognize the music.
What is it?
Tomorrow Never Knows.
Yeah.
There you go. You could be a contestant on Name That Tune, by the way.
That's what happened to be one of my favorite Beatles songs.
There you go. I guess our Lieutenant Governor knew that.
So tell us about your love for the Beatles.
Well,
I
I mean,
understand you went to a few concerts.
I did. At the time, it didn't seem like anything is particularly special to me. I was a teenager in high school, and I went to a lot of concerts around the Santa Barbara area. And then the Beatles came to California, and they had a concert that was scheduled for Dodger Stadium. This is 1964. So myself and my two other brothers, the ones who were close to me in age, and a couple of our friends all got tickets. I think the tickets were like $6 or $7 or something.
Wow, now you pay that for just a bottle of water.
It seemed like a lot of money at the time, but at any rate, we got in the car, and it's our big adventure. We want to drive down to Los Angeles to a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds. I can't imagine a worse combination of factors. We got down to Los Angeles in one piece and got to Dodger Stadium, and into the stadium, got to our seats, and heard the Beatles play live to the extent that you could hear them. The young ladies were not being very cooperative.
Crying.
It was an interesting concert in one very special way, though, and that is the way that the band got into the stadium and the way they left. They came in through the center field gates, which I know if you've ever been to Dodger Stadium, there's a big fence out there with gates in it. And they drove a big limousine in through those gates and into a very long tent behind the stage. And then they came out of the tent a few minutes later and went up on the stage after the opening act had finished, and they did their performance, about 45 minutes. And then they proceeded to go back off the stage and into the tent. And immediately, everyone in the entire stadium stampeded for the outfield, trying to get out to where the fence was, thinking they'd go that way. So nothing much happened for a long time, and the crowd was kind of dispersed out into the outfield. And the four Beatles walked out of the tent and walked through the tunnel next to the third base line where the coaches would have gone in.
Wow,
That is great.
a swerve.
Oh.
I have a hello for you from Mary Price checking in from Division 35. She is watching. If anybody wants to call in, say hello to Governor Direct, 702-329-6947. Press 1 to come right to the studio. The phone lines are there on our screen. Now, you said you were introduced or invited to go to a Kiwanis meeting. My question generally is, why did you select Kiwanis to do your community service when there are other great organizations out there that you might have selected? What was it about Kiwanis for you that allowed you to accept that invitation and said, this is my home for community service?
Well, first, hello, Mary, and thanks for watching. Okay, that's a very good question, Aaron, because it's an important one for anyone who joins Kiwanis to have a clear understanding of their answer. I had been involved in community service through the YMCA for quite a while. That was not a new idea to me. My thinking at the time when I was introduced to Kiwanis is that this is an organization of committed volunteers who are willing to work in their community to help make life better for kids. And that's exactly what part of the YMCA's mission is to do the same thing. So I thought this is a great resource for me to be able to round up some willing volunteers to help me with my other work. So that was kind of like my initial motivation, because one of the challenges of the YMCA is getting people to volunteer to take a week off out of their life and go and be a camp counselor at the resident camp.
Right.
A very important program, really important program. So I was looking towards the Kiwanis as being a means for me to recruit caring adults who could be reliable and trusted around kids to perhaps volunteer. I actually did get a few volunteers, but I got them through the division council.
So it was a great way to marriage and meld both of your particular interests between the YMCA, expand the YMCA reach, get involved in Kiwanis, and now you've got that marriage between both organizations.
Yeah, but of course, like I think all Kiwanians, and this is again something important for Kiwanians who join to think about in their own context, and that is that while I joined Kiwanis for a very specific, you might almost call it a selfish reason in a way, I was looking for a resource I didn't have. That's not really why I'm in Kiwanis today. I'm in Kiwanis today and for related reasons, but I discovered some things about Kiwanis that made it a very attractive place to stay and to make a part of my life. And that was that the opportunity for both adults and students to develop and learn leadership skills in a very safe, caring environment. People spend a lot of time and money going to leadership retreats, trying to learn from these guys who've got canned programs for how to be a great leader. And they're expensive and they're time consuming, and I'm not even sure you even get much benefit from them. But Kiwanis is a great environment to study leadership in and to become a more effective community servant yourself through leadership and giving students the same opportunity. I'm a firm believer in the power of the servant leader to be an effective part of every community. And the key thought behind the servant leader concept is that everybody is going to have an opportunity and a need to be able to lead at some point. So you might as well discover that servant leader within yourself and be prepared when the time comes. So there was the leadership component, and I also began to make some very good friends for life.
Right on.
And that's hard to walk away from.
Absolutely.
That's correct.
Absolutely.
I was very blessed when I joined the Kiwanis Club of Santa Barbara that one of our elderly members was past Governor Sid Smith. He and I became fast friends. I mean, really good friends, because he wanted to go to the conventions and the conferences, but he couldn't drive anymore because he was like, 88, 89, 90 years old. So I got recruited to be his driver, which meant that I went to every division council meeting, every convention, every conference, and took Sid with me. And we were in the car, of course, for hours. And he's telling me Kiwanis stories by the hour.
Right, right. He's keeping you entertained with history.
But it was also very useful information.
Right. Sure, sure.
So
I think.
No.
I'm sorry. I think Christina has a question for us
Sure.
or a comment.
You just said that you love the convention. So, what is it for you to say no to a convention? I mean, you have to be in that convention.
Right.
What
Well,
are-
the thing is that when I first joined Kiwanis, the draw of the convention was the opportunity to learn more about Kiwanis. The education and training opportunities were tremendous. At least I thought they were tremendous. So I was going to the conventions and conferences for that very express purpose. And I got involved with the people who were there that I got to know. They were my friends I saw once or twice a year. So now I go to conventions and conferences because I have a good time. I get to see these people I see once or twice a year, good friends in Kiwanis. When you become a Kiwanis leader at some point, whether it's leading your division like you are, Christina, or leading the district like I am right now, there's a certain personal pleasure in being able to talk to people in your organization about your vision and where you want to try and take them as a group, and having them reach out and support you. That's got a lot of personal satisfaction for me in it. I hope that you have the same experience, Christina.
Yes, I do. So, what is your vision for the district?
My vision for the district is Kiwanis Next, which I believe expresses the notion that we can no longer be what we used to be. We must become a new and renewed and fresh organization. One of the things that I'm secretly kind of grateful for is that the coronavirus did a lot of heavy lifting for me, because one of the things I wanted Kiwanians to get used to the idea of communicating over long distances through television and conferencing. So the coronavirus forced us into that technology. We obliged us to become effective at going different places over the airwaves and communicating in that way, including education and training. We've done more training and education this year than probably ever has been done before by any governor, because I'm able to go everywhere.
That's correct.
So the virus taught us that we can in fact change if we have to. And change is what we needed to do. We were becoming bogged down, I think, as an organization in our old ways. People were not really excited about the future. So we needed to be thinking about a new future Kiwanis that is younger, more vibrant, and making more robust use of technology for our communication. That is my
Well
vision.
said. Well said. It's tough to pack in so much information in a 30-minute show, and there's so many things that we can address and share. But part of our goal for this show, Mr. Governor, is to attract new members and get the word out about Kiwanis and what it is. And we're not an airline, and we do the work. We don't just write checks and all that stuff. So with the last minute or so that we have left, I want you to address those who maybe are thinking about, should be invited, want to come, etc., to become a Kiwanian. What would you say to those folks watching right now?
I would say that we as an organization are willing to take a little bit of a risk and invest in you. And if you're willing to take a little bit of a risk and invest in us, what you're risking is a little bit of your time with a great organization doing great things, and a very small amount of your money. Bear in mind that your dues are going to be somewhere less than $20 a month to join our organization. So you're not really going to be putting a whole lot of money on the table. Your biggest investment is going to be your time and your commitment to us. And I can guarantee you that if you commit to Kiwanis and commit to the Kiwanians in a club, they will not disappoint you. They will embrace you, take you in, make you their friend, and you will have friends for life and an opportunity to serve with a great organization doing great things with our young people. It's the most important thing you could possibly ever be doing with your life, is what I would tell them, Aaron.
Right on.
Thank you.
Real quick, we have a quick question in the chat room, and then we're going to start saying our goodbyes. Tim McDonald asked, what's the status of this year's convention, if you have any new news to share? Right.
At this time, there's every indication that the state will be open enough by that time to allow us to conduct a convention in person in San Diego. I'm planning on being there, put it that way.
Right on. All right, Mr. Governor, we know you have a very busy day, both personally and, of course, running the district. So we're going to take this opportunity to thank you and wish you a good rest of your day. And again, we appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you for having me, and if you ever get the urge, you can even have me back. I really enjoy talking to you all.
All right.
Right
thank
on.
you.
We'll definitely make that happen. Thank you, Governor Gary. All right. Great stuff from the governor. Again, I want to apologize for the little hiccup of electronics into the show. That happens, and we appreciate everybody sticking with us. All right. About 30 seconds. Final thoughts and comments.
I want to thank our sponsors.
Yep. And he flashed them up during the tail end there. Yeah, absolutely.
Jeff McAllister, our governor. Are we going to pass them again?
Well, he put them up there.
car wash?
He put them up there towards the end.
So if you need your car washed,
There you
just
go.
call. Licensed addiction therapist.
Oh.
This is a new Stephanie Hui.
And we thank them for joining us as new sponsors, along with all of our other sponsors who you saw flash towards the end of Governor Gary's appearance with us. All right. Final thoughts to our group of people watching.
Just thank you all.
Do you want to announce a change in our schedule?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're going to be going every other week from today. So our next one will be on March the 9th.
Okay.
The
March
second is not going to be, but the March the 9th.
Right on. So mark your calendars that Kiwanis Kares will be back on March 9th with new guests, additional information all about going on in Kiwanis. As always, our current Lieutenant Governor, thank you very much, of course, for spending time with us with our governor. I'm Aaron Phillips. We want to thank you for watching us. Please reshare our feed on our Facebook page and, of course, on YouTube. Be kind to everybody. Why is that? Where we have. Have a great week. We'll see you next time right here on Kiwanis Kares. Thank you.